See, because of the way I am, you know how I care and stuff. I gave P-51s to Russia a long time ago, and also because of how I am with people, I wouldn't mine inside the Philippines without the miners being protected. So I sent NASA there to be developing the suits for the Philippine miners, or for the miners mining that was happening in the Philippines. And so, in order for a person to be wearing this big giant suit that a person wears, it had to have a cooling system inside of it because it's this giant suit. Just like it. Just imagine astronauts walking around the Philippines inside these great big suits, and that's what was going on back when the Philippines was a mine for uranium. They were. I insisted on every worker wearing a suit. If he was going to go be exposed to radiation, he had to wear a suit. So, in order to mine effectively in the Philippines, the Americans had to have these suits, which also had cooling systems inside of them to protect them. So, long hoses, and they would feed the cooling system up into the suit so the miner could stay cool in this giant suit that was walking around the Philippines, doing all the mining to get the uranium. And it could be trucked to Windscale or whatever. Anyway, and I was like a 7-year-old child, and I was really young, and I didn't care. I was like, I don't care what it costs. I want it this way. This is the way it's going to be. I'm not going to expose my people, my workers, to the effects of radiation. So every worker had to wear this giant suit that looked like a spacesuit, and with the big long cooling things. And supposedly, according to NASA and other people, because they did tests on the monkeys, they would take the monkey, put it in a suit, and put it in a room, and bathe it in radiation, and then take the suit off, pull the monkey out, check for radiation, check for sterility, and and then and then make adjustments to the suits, and that's why NASA was able to go to space, because we had already developed the suits in the Philippines. I had ordered it, back when I was 7 years old. I was like, and I'm not going to expose my workers, so they're going to have suits. So that was part of that, and that's how also America was able to build the bomb, because in order to build the bomb, you needed to basically be in this giant spacesuit, pretty much, to be working with plutonium and uranium, and also be inside a special room, which was developed, like I said, by the American government and the American military in the Philippines originally, because I wouldn't allow my workers to just be exposed. So they had to be cooled, and they had to be big, and they were very heavy, and truly they had to be muscular guys. I'm pretty sure, because can you imagine this great big suit? I think it's like walking around. It's like being underwater. They said, except you're not. You're on the land, and the suits, I think, became radioactive themselves, but basically the person inside the suit would be fairly protected and would have a minimal amount of exposure compared to working inside that environment all day. But like I said, the suits are very expensive, and a lot of people probably don't know why the suits were created. That the suits were actually created for the Philippines, for the workers, and had to have cooling systems, if I remember right. And they will protect supposedly from most types of radiation, although I don't know if they protect from all types of radiation. There may be a few radiation types that just can't be protected against. I know for uranium mining, they were quite effective, and were allowed the workers to be able to mine some very, 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 very hot or high uranium content, whatever. And also probably the building of the bomb actually was facilitated by these giant suits, which is probably considered top secret by most people in the government. But that's why the suits were created. That's why they exist, was for uranium mining in the Philippines, and also doing reactor work in America. And because I refused to let my workers be exposed. I was like, no, either we're going to do it in a suit, or we're not going to do it at all. And that's the way it is with me. I don't expose my workers. Period. I don't just go willy-nilly whatever. I said I don't care what it costs, and I put NASA to the job. And that's what they did. And that's why they're able to go to space. And That's what so you know, or you should know anyway, that and that's also why the NASA suits have cooling and heating systems inside of them, because the cooling systems were developed for the Philippines, because in order to be walking around the Philippines or working in the mines in the Philippines, they had to be cooled, because they were, you're working in a mine. Imagine working in a mine, this giant leaded suit, and that's what they were doing. They had it was thin lead or something, some sort of special kind of lead, whatever. But basically, it was a NASA suit, the pre-NASA suit before NASA, and it minimized a person's exposure level to. I think they did it so your arms. So there are certain parts of the bodies that were somewhat exposed, but the vast majority of your body was not exposed, like your chest area, and I don't know, certain parts were exposed, certain parts were not exposed. They weren't perfect, and they also developed the plastic that apparently can actually shield people from the face domes. That plastic is special plastic that supposedly deflects or absorbs radiation, and that was a very, 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 very special plastic that had to be developed by NASA. But they did it, and they did it because I insisted on it, and it was used in space, and that's what those suits are for, and that's why. So.